Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Depressed Eeyore, and this is Langrisser Mobile Apex Season 8. This is point match for getting to Silver 1, so I figure its own video would probably be a good idea. Anyway, um, still doing this on a Sunday, on the first Sunday of the season. As you can probably see with my opponent here, my opponent is, best way to summarize it is just Rush. They have a little bit. They have some AOE, but they also have some assassins as well. So, but a lot of the emphasis is towards the Luna here and the Akaya here. A lot of extra mobility. Also teleports and actigans. So a lot of stuff there. Probably. Well, I guess I'll go more into it as we go on. So banned Ares. They ban my Rose and Seal. And I take Juggler. So that's usually what they usually open with when they do rushes like this. Because even if they end up getting bad picks or bad bans, they can at least have a tank that can also be a teleporter. So main thing, got rid of Akaya. That 30% attack buff plus 2 mobility and potentially Actigans is really bad. Lucretia is really strong, or a very high potential tank buster. I mean, Tensei Jessica is dangerous, but usually they go with at least the range staff with her, so it's at least there's like 10% damage reduction or something. But man, Lucretia is just, you don't want to get hit by her. In fact, I don't know if I've gone a matchup against her yet because I keep trying to avoid her. In any case, I take Hilda because they left me with her. Straight for Florentia as well as Marielle. They took Rose and Seal. I don't know why, but they took her. At this point, I was kind of looking at the box. I'm trying to get rid of a lot of things, to say the least. What direction did I go? Okay, so I went after Marielle. So yeah, I see what I did. So I got rid of Bozel for a lot of reasons, but one of the primary reasons was he is Dark Faction and would be buffing Brenda if they happen to take Brenda. The other reason was I took Marielle because Marielle has the attack, mass attack. So I'm trying to get rid of as many attack buffs as possible at this point. I took Lycoris because at this point I was down to 2 primary healers. They went after the caster duo there. They take Brenda. So I was like, all right, well, at this point I got rid of Kyura, got rid of, yeah, their assassins at this point, as well as a faction buffer. Though you don't usually use Sigma for that. Take Kahira. They go after more of my assassins. They take Tensei Jessica. So at this point, Tensei Jessica could potentially do a strengthen. So that's kind of their only attack buff at this point. They do have Juggler here with a faction. If Juggler takes a faction buff, you'll be good on that front. Rose and Seal does have a faction buff for Brenda, because Brenda is Empire as well. So we got that going for us. At this point, I was like, well, if you're going to take Tensei Jessica, I'm getting rid of Hilda, because I don't want to give you a faction buff. I didn't want to deal with any long-range AoE shenanigans from young Jessica, and I was kind of okay with leaving behind Luna. I assumed she was going to be a flyer, and then of course there's Liana, which Actigans are annoying, but at this point the only major threat is Tensei Jessica. The rest can be dangerous if they go one after the other, but isolated they're kind of more than controllable. Especially since I have Lycoris, I can deal with the anti-heal from Brenda. At this point I went ahead and take Tsubame, since I had the buff coverage for her. At this point they got rid of Lustriel on my healer. I was kind of surprised. I was kind of expecting the ban to be Illustrial and Helena, and that way I'd be stuck with a tank and a healer, a second tank or second healer. But I'm guessing it was possible. They banned my healer for the potential of not dealing with Lycoris becoming offense, or dealing with Rewind, giving me extra AoEs. I wasn't going to go AoE anyway. Juggler's annoying when you go AoE. In any case, my opponent went Luna. She does have a faction buff. It would be for herself and Rose and Ciel if she does take it. Juggler can buff himself and Luna if he so chooses. So there's some potential there. I'm not really afraid. It used to be annoying to deal with a flying Luna because they have Cursed Spear, and Cursed Spear can negate heals as well as silence. My Helena's immune to heal negation, so I wasn't really afraid of Luna at all. She's just not a tank buster here. So I take Helena. I mean, might as well. Alright, so Tensei Jessica took Teleport and Free Strike, did not take Strengthen, so no attack buff. Even without attack buff, I mean, with her stacks, once she gets to 4 stacks, Free Strike against spears is going to do quite a bit of damage. But no Strengthen. This also means she can't easily proc or act again except with teleports, which isn't that big of a deal. Teleport has a very short cooldown. Betty, pretty standard stuff. Iron Helm is one thing to note. I do have a lot of ranged attackers, and there's a 1 in 4 chance that she could just halve my damage. Rosen Seal, no faction buff, no 3C. Took defense support. Which, what's this even do? Okay, it just reduces damage. It doesn't even actually give a defense buff. Well, it doesn't give a stat defense buff, at least. Juggler took Great Dragon Barrier, Triton, and Sacred Beast Hem. I'm guessing just so he can tank magic, because I mean, you can tank magic with the 3C, but the cooldown's so long that it's not viable. So I'm guessing Great Dragon Barrier is just so he can tank. So no faction buff, no Beast Shock. And then Luna here, standard kit Luna. That's pretty much what I have for my Luna. Well, sorry, standard kit for a ranged Luna, I would say, but she's not ranged, she's flying, but her troops are ranged. I don't know what this Luna is. I'm assuming she only exists just to give Wind God Realm to everyone else so they can move faster. That's the only thing I can gather. Tsubame, I did go quick step. I'm more than likely, once she gets in range to kill something, she's going to get her stealth removed by either a teleport or an AoE. So chances are I'm not going to be able to get her out once I kill something with her. Kayura, I did take Gossipal because I have no way of buffing her otherwise. Her only attack will be Star Slash. Lycoris, standard full heal set. Since I have a faction buff from Hilda, I don't need to bring a faction buff for Lycoris. Also, I don't think Kayura is dark. I think she's time and what's it called? Mystic or Mythic. And then standard Helena with my Angels. Angels will be able to tank Light of Genesis pretty well. So good stuff there. So as always, counting steps. The biggest threat I'm concerned about is Juggler. Because Juggler can potentially teleport and really mess with my formation. Either disabling guard or make it so I can't move anyone. So at this point I'm just kind of spreading out some terrain. The only thing that's a little bad about having Lycoris is she kind of eats up the terrain that Helena relies on. But that's okay, I'm not too worried about it. With Juggler's Triton Guard, Helena's not going to have very many opportunities to get into strike, unfortunately. Unless my opponent leaves an opening. So there you go. Some faction buffs, nothing special there. And I'm kind of just spreading out. So even if my opponent decides to do an AoE, I'm comfortable that I can react to it quick enough at this point. And since Tensei Jessica is all the way in the back, even with teleport, she can't do very much from there. So at this point, I was like, well, you're leaving me at the center. I might as well take it. So Wind God Realm set up. Moves up there, so everyone's mobility is now pretty... Going through this aura here will essentially give them 2 free steps. So with 4 movement here... Oh, she has boots. Good for her. So, depending on what weapon she has, more than likely she's going to be a 2-ring range. So right now she can only hit Hilda with her AoE, and her AoE won't, the heal block on it won't do anything. Tensei Jessica is still out of range of everybody, unless she starts doing some teleporting shenanigans. With teleporting shenanigans, she could potentially get in range of somebody, but she won't be able to one-shot, not without anything special. She does have a damage dealt buff, probably from a Tenyu headdress, but that's about it. Juggler has both primary buffs active. I didn't realize Great Dragon... Oh yeah, Great Dragon Barrier has a long cooldown, mainly because it also negates fixed damage. So yeah, at this point I'm just running through, spreading out, spreading crystals everywhere. My opponent's going to hang back. At this point, I'm actually in range to kill Luna at this point. I was planning on trying to go after Tensei Jessica, but she's just too far back. I could go after Rose and CL. No, I can't. Yeah, unfortunately, this little water tile here is blocked. This depth tile is really messing with my ability to get coverage. So my choice is either to go after one of the two tanks, or I can go after Luna with Tsubame here. And Tsubame's aura talent is 3 range, so from here she can get the maximum increase into her attack and skill. So good stuff there. But for right now, I'm just like, alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and buff just in case you tried to run in and AoE me or something. Since they just takes her turn. And so at this point I was like, alright, well, since all that's left is Betty. I get first strike. And that's it. Alright, so no additional mobility anymore. The other thing the other reason I wanted to get rid of Luna is her aura also reduces magic damage. Alright, so I move in, I'm gonna do my 3C. So unfortunately, Iron Helm procced, which means my damage is reduced by additional 50%. Yeah, if it had not procced, I would have gotten the kill. But it did, and so that was unfortunate. I was hoping to get the kill, but I completely forgot Iron Helm. I thought Iron Helm was only against physical attacks, but it worked against magic. So yeah, that caught me completely off guard. So I was like, all right, well, we'll just fall back. At this point, Juggler can go 1, 2, 3, 4 and teleport here and lock down Kyura and Hilda, which is really dangerous. But if that happens, I would be able to get free kills all over this place here. Essentially, I would just move in with Tsubame and get another kill at that point. So instead, my opponent's going to go ahead and do teleport shenanigans, break my stealth, and then actually does 3C. I'm pretty sure she didn't need to do... well... yeah, she didn't need to do 3C. She could have probably done a normal attack and would have been fine. But she might have done it just to get the heal on Betty. So, at this point I was like, alright, well, there goes that. More than likely they're going to start AoEing me. And right now, due to the crystal barrier, I wasn't entirely certain if I was going to be able to get... well, actually, with the crystal barrier, I think I could have pulled it off. But with essentially what I had right now, I could easily get in range with Helena, with Chivalry, with her talent. I can attack anything I want, except Light of Genesis. Light of Genesis is still being guarded, but everyone else is not. But most of the spears are dead, and she's infantry, and she doesn't have anything special against melee attacks. And she has no one in range to actually trigger Solidarity. So... actually, is it 2 surrounding blocks? That's worded weird. I think it's still a cross shape, so if that's true, then she's still out of range to get anything. So with that in mind, I did stay back, because if I hit her with the AoE, it would have just healed her, because of the crystal buff. So with this, Angels take care of the spears, and then Helena takes care of Betty. And go ahead and tag them for some extra damage, just for fun. So, they move in to heal. Unfortunately, losing Tsubame meant Kyura no longer gets the passive buff. So her mobility is really low now. Teleports to here. I think the purpose was to lock her down. But, as I mentioned in a previous video, even with 0 mobility, this train is 0 cost. So even at 0 move, this is her movement range. So she can get away. And now that Juggler's used his his 3C and his Great Dragon Barrier. In 2 turns, he won't be able to guard magic at all, which will kind of give me free reign to attack whatever I want. Alright, magic against full health angels. Still did pretty good, even without an attack buff. Yeah, it looks like Tensei Jessica also has a Tenyu headdress, just buffed Juggler with it. In any case, yeah, for those who don't know, angels take 45% less magic damage. So literally just, she's just really tanky against mages. A lot of, on the Chinese server, when, you know, Kaiyura and all of them were kind of in the rage, a lot of people switched to angel troops again. I mean, angel troops were always good, it's just, for maximum damage output, you usually take something else that happens to do better attack buffs, or have better attack stat. But with angels, you can kind of almost ensure that you can at least survive a hit from characters like Tensei Jessica. So at this point, I'm just buffing up. I'm 1 turn away from finishing, getting Kaiyura's 3C back up, which will allow me to guard bypass. It doesn't really matter. In 1 turn, Juggler is going to lose his ability to guard against magic. So I'm pretty safe. Alright, so Free Strike versus... Yeah, that's without an attack buff, by the way. That's just so much damage. It doesn't... yeah, I think this Tensei Jessica does not have the range staff. Which is probably why her damage output is just so much higher. Usually you don't do it because if Thorns procs, there's a good chance you'll kill yourself. But my Thorns didn't proc, so I was just gonna take whatever. And Crystal Molders by themselves won't do enough damage. It's also possible that this Tensei Jessica may have the new armor that ignores or that reduces reflect damage. Anyway, so at this point I went ahead and just moved to do some extra damage here. I really didn't need to do this. I could have just moved down with Kaiyura and just attacked Light of Genesis. Even with a raw attack, I would have gotten the fixed damage from Twilight Star, and then just killed her. But I guess I was just kind of playing it safe at this point. Like I said, there's no point in rushing. So I was like, well, since I don't need to rush, I can just do this. Oh yeah, okay, I was like, why did I attack there? I forgot I had Starshine. So yeah, Starshine, just get... Since my guard range is not up right now. So, teleport shenanigans. Free strike. You ain't gonna kill her. So I did this just to get some extra damage in, but at that point my opponent gave up. I was just gonna kill Tensei Jessica right then and there, and then all been left was Juggler, who had nothing but Triton. So there you go. Fun little fight. Yeah, everything was their Tensei Jessica. They didn't get to do much of anything. Their AoE was done on one single target. Brenda died before she could AoE. Luna literally did nothing. And Rosensteel did some healing, and that's about it. So yeah, good stuff. I'm actually really happy with how this box is turning out. Obviously, going a full waifu box had a lot of disadvantages, but it looks like most of them are being cleaned up. I'm Silver 1. I'm not sure. I'm probably not going to press any further this week. As much as I would love to get Gold 3 in a week, I'm in no particular rush at this point. I mean, I would get better arena chance, but I did look over my enchants. I have at least something in every slot. They're not the best. They're only like at 50% in a lot of cases for the bonuses. But I'm in no, like I said, I'm in no rush. Really, the thing I wanted was just more enchants, and going from here to Gold 3 would have just gotten me just one more, and it probably would not have been worth the stress. So yeah, I think I'll probably be sticking to a game a week, possibly, depending on how things go, and doing it in the early hours to hopefully get some more unique boxes. In any case, as you can see, this is my box that I've been using. I'm probably not going to make any changes to it. I've been working on getting Sissy White to 6 stars. She's currently at 5. I'm also obviously working with Lucretia. And then after that, I just finished with Kyura, so I have an open slot to get people some other characters some shards, which I think I'm working with. I think I was working with one of these characters down here. As you can see, I have most of my characters mostly start up at this point, with a few exceptions. Yeah, overall, I think really good week. Like I said, I had a rough start in the beginning. I'm never gonna do 5 matches at 3 a.m. again. But starting in silver was also kind of just refreshing, since I didn't have to immediately deal with everyone that's racing to Langrisser at this point. Besides that, there's not really much else to work on. Like I said, I'm kind of just doing enchants and all that good stuff. I do want to mess around with the ultimate earmuffs. It has some kind of unique passives. The biggest issue I'm running into with some of these armors and items is that I've actually been getting really good drops. I've kind of mentioned this in previous videos. I actually have a great deal of Tenyu dresses and Tenyu headdresses at this point, or Tenyu robes. And so it was kind of a trade-off to figure out what exactly I wanted to use. For Lucretia, I ended up swapping out Tenyu robes for Nebulous robe, just simply because I didn't want to deal with it with the reflect damage. And I think that's probably for the best for her. If she's getting attacked, the Tenyu robe is most likely not going to save her, especially since most of my opponents take Rose and CL as their healer. So debuffs are usually not a thing I'll be doing against my opponents. So a lot of the focus is going to be on cleansing if I was going to do anything like that. Besides that, like I said, just standard guild defense stuff. Finally got to the capital, but unfortunately, I'm gonna be we're in 9th place. We're not gonna get 8th, unfortunately. But that'll still get me 20 more enchants, so that's gonna give me plenty to work with, and I have plenty of gold to use them for a chance. So at this point, I might actually do shopping in the black market if anything pops up, just simply because I can now. But yeah, like I said, not much else to report on. I did the bare minimums in Forbidden Battlegrounds. I didn't even bother with a lot of the level 70s or even the 60s. It's just I didn't really care. I got everything I got from the store. I don't need the gold. And then of course, these achievements are nice. I mean, getting more enchants is always good. I don't really need mastery. I don't need regular mastery stones. I don't need rune shards. All the characters, all female characters are fully runed up at this point. And this requirement thing, I'm not gonna, just for one Trinity voucher is not worth my sanity. So, I mean, the only thing I'm missing out on is some enchants, but even at this point, my enchants are actually pretty decent. So unless I want to enchant some other character that I'm not using at the moment, I think we'll be okay. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I am the Depressed Dior, and this was Langrisser Mobile Apex Season 8. I'll see you guys later.